doing it on a day-to-day basis?
So as far as, staying in like my square, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's programmed for me, Sam.
yeah,
Like I have to have program. I've always been that way. I don't like to be late to things. I show up early. I like structure. I thrive off of that. So for me, it's just doing daily things. Every morning when I get up, I do daily readings. I have my readings from one place, and then I
yeah.
have a reading from like a spiritual, like a
Right.
scripture reading. That I make sure that I knock both of those down as soon as I get up in the morning, and then I do my prayer. I pray. I get those three things in, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm starting my day off correctly. And then I get in with the family after that. If the wife's gone at work or whatever, it's breakfast, it's getting the kids dressed, and doing those things. And then I do daily gratitudes. I
Right.
try to do five. Sometimes I come up with four, but I do them 5 days a week for sure. Sometimes 6 days a week. I do daily gratitudes. I have a board up on the door that leads to my garage, and I have my daily intention,
Yeah.
and then I have my gratitudes. Every day I find an intention, and I put my five gratitudes down. And by doing that, it allows me to stay somewhat centered for the day. So like if I find myself kind of drifting out of my square, and I'm starting to take other people's inventory and say, well, look what this
Yeah.
person's doing, or look what that person's doing, or I start to go, back into my past, or I start future tripping over things that are coming up, I say, wait, I have something that I'm supposed to do today. So I go up there and I look at my intent for the day, or I remember what my intent for the day was, and I go right back to that, because the one day at a time thing is a fact. And it's definitely for, not using, like don't use for this day
Right.
and worry about the next day. But for me, it's also don't worry about anything else other than this day. And the things that you're worried about in the future, there's steps that are going to get you there anyway. So just focus on whatever the step is for that day, and then once you get that knocked out, you'll move on to that next step. So for me, staying in my square is all program and just worrying about the day. And as far as keeping my side of the street clean, as long as I follow my as long as I follow my program, the street sweeper comes down,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. I try not to take other people's inventory. I used to worry about what other people thought and what they had going on, what kind of car they drive, house they have, all this different stuff, you know what I mean, clothes they wear. No, that's their side of the street, you know? And I think you're the person that drove that into me the most. Worry about my side, worry about
Yeah.
my square. So that's how I think I'm tackling it right now.
Have you had any triggers since you started?
Um, Not so much triggers, but I'm relatively, new in my recovery.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even made it to my 90 days yet. And though I feel I'm doing really well, because I feel, mentally, physically, spiritually, I feel really good about where I'm at right now in my recovery. Um, and a lot of that is due to the accountability. That's a big thing, being in the program,
Yeah.
not only because, they test and things like that. I've made bonds with you guys, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I don't want to let myself down, my family down, or you guys
Yeah.
down. But when you were talking about, like, we got parents, we got grandparents, we have family members, and at some point, they could become ill. We can lose those people in our lives. And me being this fresh in my recovery, that is something that scares me,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't know if I'm well equipped enough to deal with that. I'm grabbing every tool available to me to deal with all of these different aspects of my life, which I mean, we'll get into that. But like, as far as the loss of someone that is super close to me, I don't have an answer to how I'm going to react to that yet. And that is scary, you
Yeah.
know?
Neither do I. I want to clarify that. I don't either. I just like with allergies when you get them, or when you have an allergy. If I have an allergy to peanuts,
Right.
That means I can't take any more peanuts
Can't
because
eat peanuts.
it swells up. I can't smell it. I can't, it becomes an issue for me.
Mm.
So I could die. And that's the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol, I can't touch it.
Right.
I can't have anything to do with it.